We ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life. Get busy living, fuck get busy dying.
You ain't first, last. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Welcome to Brews and Reviews with Mick and Pat. I'm Mick.
And I'm Pat.
And each week we sit down with you degenerates to pretend we're certified cicerones and cinephiles.
That is right. So grab a cold one and join us as we review Left Hand Brewery's Wake Up Dead and the 2023 film Talk to Me.
And if you've been with us before, you know what time it is.
Release the Kraken!
Oh, ready?
Yeah.
Fully it.
Right, the big pour.
Dude, popping the bottles is always hard to get synced up.
It is. This stuff's thick.
I'm getting flashbacks to Hunt's...
Battery acid.
But what was it actually called?
It's called the taint melter. I don't know. It was the... it was... Oh, what was it called?
Hold one second. We got it up here, don't we?
I think it's in. There's one up there. There should be one. Midnight Fuel?
I think that's it.
I
don't see it in here.
What?
Bro, you must have thrown it out.
It might have started stinking in the cabinet.
That could be it.
I think it was called Midnight Fuel.
Dude, that was a whole... Like no hate to that brewery. I know it was a Colorado brewery.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to hate on them too hard, but oof, that was rough.
Do you have any spooky vibes?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Spooky
no problem.
vibes.
And we need spooky vibes because
Halloweeny.
It is
it's our Halloweeny brews and reviews.
That is right. So,
which, I was reading our thing, and we say each week.
Every week? Yeah.
I don't know, Pat. I feel like we haven't been hitting that mark. I feel like our brews and reviews folks might feel a little neglected.
Either going to have to change the script or up the movie and show watching, up the product. So,
and there's so many I want to review.
That I just haven't watched.
That I'm waiting for you to watch.
I know I've been slacking on slacking.
You've just been watching way too many Liam Neeson movies at night rather than the ones we should be watching.
We could review like how we did I'm forgetting the name of this show even. When we did
The Last of Us?
The Last of Us. Like that, we could just do every week do a Liam Neeson show for like a year.
Wait, hold on. First sips, man.
Yeah, so we haven't even tried this stuff yet. So here we go.
It's looking dark and foamy.
Mick's gonna like this one.
It's definitely like overall, like tastes like drinking cold coffee.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that is the number one taste is cold coffee.
Yep, day old. Maybe day old cold.
Like roasted.
Yeah.
Like not burnt, but like roasty coffee.
Been thoroughly roasted. Maybe reheated in the microwave.
Dude, it's been so long. Do we usually push it through our teeth first or go over the bottle first?
First, we're going to read this bottle.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah.
So,
read the label, bro.
It's an Imperial Stout by Left Hand Brewing Co. And they have a skull next to the alcohol by volume. It's a 10.2% beer. So that's a serious drinker right there. Brewed on the banks of the mighty St. Vrain, bold yet smooth, with notes of dark chocolate, dried fruit, and coffee. So that's the deal. They've got it's been... Oh, I thought it said it'd been in the cellar for 5 years. It says only store for 5 years, up to 5 years. I don't think that's going to change much for you if you.
I don't know. That's how it turns into battery acid. I think that's what wasn't the Midnight Fuel like aged. I feel like it said it was like barrel aged.
barrel aged in a refinery.
Yeah.
Could have been. And the label, it's kind of wild. It's like a screaming skull with like an alien shaped head. The big long head.
Kind of like the Incan head, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's got definitely reminiscent to those red eyes of gosh, I'm trying to think of what's the creeper? It's like from like one of the serial, each episode was a different thing. Was it Tales from the Crypt where the creeper's eyes would glow red? I can't remember. Maybe it was Goosebumps. But it just reminds me of like that skull with glowing red eyes and kind of being more comedic shaped. It reminds me of something from the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, it does.
Kind of serial TV, but
yeah, or like Mars Attacks aliens.
Yeah, it does have some
aliens
Mars Attacks vibes to it for sure. Also a good movie. We should brews and reviews that one.
So, Left Hand Brewery, they are out of Longmont, Colorado.
Longmont.
And I don't think we've done a Left Hand beer. We maybe have, but I don't think we have done one yet.
I think it might be because you know that I generally have a distaste towards stouts, and they're almost everything by them is a stout
They're
or some
stout
kind.
people. They like the stout stuff. Left Hand, also referred to by lonely teenage boys as Princess Leia.
What's that mean?
Just a companion for when you're all alone.
Because you're usually holding a girl's hand with your left hand?
Nope.
I don't know.
It's for
I'm not familiar with this.
It's in reference to masturbation. So that's what that is. Yes, Left Hand Brewery. I don't think that's why they named it that. It's from a line in some movie. I can't remember what it is, but some guy's just like, he's like, yeah.
I've never heard this before
it's
in
his
my
old
life.
line. He's just like, my left hand. I call her Princess Leia. That's it. It's just been stuck in my head since middle school, and no one's ever also heard it. So, anyways, I'll have to find that.
I just think of like the Family Guy episode where he's interviewing Meg's boyfriend, and he's like, "What do you plan to do with my daughter?" "Nothing, sir. I plan to take her out to dinner and a movie and have her home before 9:00. He's like, all right. Well, I have some questions for you. He's like, shoot away, sir. I'll answer it honestly. Do you sit on your left hand until it falls asleep and then masturbate, pretending it's to be someone else? Honestly, sir, I do. You know what, kid? You're all right. I was just like, I just remember like that was before like I had even gone on a date when I saw that episode. I was like, do people do that?
Oh my God.
It's too much TV at a young age.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, surprisingly or not, Left Hand Brewing Co. started as a humble homebrew kit and a desire to elevate craft beer.
Did they?
Yes.
Like everybody else.
Yes, surprising or not. They were frustrated by the monotony of bland beer at home and inspired by the rich flavors they discovered in Europe. It says it was two Air Force friends embarked on a mission to craft the kind of beer they craved themselves. Hobby became an obsession. They started in Longmont in September 1993, so they are just over 30 years old. And yeah, they've been going strong for a couple decades now.
They've been they've been a staple as long as I've been paying attention to beer and the West, Southwest. Like I've seen them out even outside of Colorado pretty successfully. So, yeah, I mean that's cool. Sounds like every other brewery, but if that's it seems to be a method to getting it started and successful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no kidding. They do have focuses on things like community and being charitable and making beer that tastes good. So yeah, they're kind of hitting all the things there. But this beer specifically, Wake Up Dead, it's bold yet smooth with notes of dark chocolate, dried fruit, and coffee. Read that already. Good morning, you've woken up dead. You're in ruins. But don't be discouraged. Here's a black stout to brighten your day. It's deadly delicious. Shouldn't that be say it's deathly delicious? But anyways, it's deadly delicious. I guess it works too. It's deadly delicious with dark chocolate, cake aromas, and hints of dried fruit, licorice, and coffee. It's a beast of a beer you'll crave from beyond the grave. So,
Yeah, it does. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It has a cake smell for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, actually, when they said that, I immediately was like, bullshit. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, I should smell like cake.
It's a little bit of cake smell in there. Its color is black. Like I said, it's a 10.2% alcohol by volume, and it's a thick beer. It's a thick beer. God, this is horrible. But for some reason, while I was reading that description of all the things in it, I just pictured the type of things that end up drying on a toilet that have to be brushed off when the janitor comes in.
Why? What?
Like,
what's that got to do with anything, bro?
This brown dried fruit and coffee. I was like, that's what Super Bowls are made of.
Ew.
Yeah, I know, it's horrible. That's where my head goes. That's where my brain is these days. And am I proud of it? No, but it's me. This is who I am. So Left Hand Brewery, they do tours at their brewery, and they have a tap house at their spot in Longmont. It's worth checking out. Worth going down there and enjoying if you're in the area or if you're local. So I think it's time for the big taste test.
Hold on, I'm trying to get the good Insta photo. You know what I mean?
Yes.
For our, not even for our Insta, for our Untapped.
Yeah, check us out on Untapped if you want to see what we think about these beers.
I was thinking for our when people sign up on the website, like with their email, we have the option of like having a PDF that gets sent to them in the email, like a free thing. And I was like, what could we do with that? And I was like, I guess we could do like a PDF that's just our movie and beer rankings. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like best of the year or something like, you know what I mean? And that way people just know, like, if they don't want to listen to episodes, they can just like use that PDF as a guide to what to buy and what to watch.
That'd be good. I also noticed on here, it says a Russian Imperial Stout. I didn't know that was even a thing.
I don't think Russia has chocolate or coffee.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So
it's I'll say this, it's definitely enjoy at 50 to 55 degrees in a goblet. We should have done goblet instead of
the Stein.
Yeah, but that's all right. I'll say this, first notes, man, before we do the Swish taste test. The fact that this is a 10% beer is shocking to me. Like, it does not taste like a 10% beer. It tastes way more mellow, at least to me, and it is smooth. Like, I was really expecting way worse. Maybe it's because Nightmare Fuel just, took one for the team and made all stouts just taste better. Yeah. But anyways, so we're going to do the Swish test, folks. You know what it is. I don't want to waste time, but a little bit of a tablespoon amount out of the beer into your mouth, into your jowls, and you're going to let it roll over towards the back of your tongue and then roll off the sides behind your molars and let it get underneath your tongue and then swish it around side to side and then push, tongue to the roof of your mouth, pushing that beer through the front of your teeth. Pat's having a hard time not giggling over here for some reason. What's so funny, man? Is it just take you back?
Oh, I almost switched my Zen out.
Oh, you're zenning while doing it? Oh, bro. You got to spit that out, man. That's going to mess up your taste test.
It's been in there for a while. But no, it was since I'm doing every motion as you say, it's probably about twice as long as needs to be. But I think my mouth is numb now from that experience. I need to do it one more time for the taste.
Ooh. After completing that Swish test, it's kind of it's a little zingier. Definitely like not nearly as like numbing as Nightmare Fuel, but I will say pushing it through the teeth changed the taste profile a lot. I think with the Swish test it became sweeter. became chocolatier,
Yeah.
and now the coffee taste is a strong aftertaste. Like this tastes
It's
like
dark chocolate.
yeah, it's like a dark chocolate coffee aftertaste for sure.
Oh
It kind of reminds me of like those first few sips from black coffee after you brush your teeth in the morning. You know? Wow. Okay, so thoughts on this?
Made my tummy hurt.
Probably because you're swishing a 10% beer with 6% nicotine pouches in your mouth,
Oh yeah,
and you swallow too, which is so gross,
I
dude.
do.
Just because it says you can swallow it doesn't mean you should, bro.
It's called gutting. We don't call it swallowing. It's,
Yeah, we do. There's Zid. There's Zid. It's not tobacco.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Also, our music is spooky music.
It is spooky music.
White Bat's 80s horror synth playlist. All right, so honestly, every note that they're suggesting is in the beer. I'm picking up. Pat, what about you? Is there anything? The fruitiness.
I'm always
I think
trying to
could
find the
be
dried
there.
fruit. Yeah, it's like the fruit in this is feeling masked.
If you think about dried fruit, though, is dried fruit like what is dried fruit? I think banana chips immediately.
I wish it was like what dried fruit, you know,
Yeah.
because then I could maybe like pick out an apple or a citrusy, like an orange flavor or something. I don't know.
What's just some like awful like ideas of like dried fruit, like dried watermelon? Like this, ugh, that's so nasty, dude. I don't know. It's dried cantaloupe in the beer.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't
okay.
dry your melons.
Ew. I don't even think you could. There's so much water. I think it just, melt away in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to take another sip, but Pat, start giving me your first takes. First takes on the beer. Thoughts, comparing it to other stouts, comparing it to the reigning king of coffee stouts, Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the one that we tried? Silver Lion is not... that's Horse and Dragon, but what was the Horse and Dragon one we tried that was
Horse
really
and
good?
Dragon was it's called Midnight. It's
Midnight Stallion.
Midnight Stallion. That's
Midnight
what, Midnight
Stallion.
Stallion. Yeah, so yeah, Midnight Stallion was good. I mean, it was. I think that's hard to beat.
For someone who doesn't like stouts, Midnight Stallion was... that is a barrel-aged bourbon one.
Yep. And so the first thoughts on this one, I think it's coming into winter. It's a good winter beer. Like it's cold. It's been cold outside. If you're a stout person, you're gonna like this thing. You know, if you're not a stout person, or if you haven't tried stouts, don't start here. This one's a little intense on your first go around the merry-go-round for it's just bitter. I think that bitter coffee, dark chocolate taste in there is going to turn you off to them. But
I don't know, man. Kind of disagree with you. I think this
Yeah.
would be an okay first start. Like, how many 10% stouts are going to be good intros to those heavy stouts? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm thinking of someone's like messing around with a heavy duty stout, I think this would actually be a good one if someone's thinking they're ready to bark up that tree. Smoke break.
smoke break.
Hey, Ken, it's Mick, and I've got something important to talk about. We all hope we never find ourselves in a self-defense situation, but life's unpredictable. Enter the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer, an actual credible law firm you can put on retainer for your self-defense needs. For just $35 a month, you get national coverage in all 50 states for criminal and civil legal representation in self-defense situations, complete with a 24/7, 365 toll-free emergency line. That's real legal support when you need it most. What's in the package? Bail bonds, scene cleanup, firearm replacement, even mental health counseling. Plus, 0 fees for a laundry list of defense-related costs like expert witnesses. So support the show and get yourself some peace of mind. Click the link in our show notes or visit our sponsors page to sign up for the National Self-Protection Plan from Attorneys on Retainer.
Hey folks, Pat here. If you're like Mick and I, you're a fan of classic tales like Lonesome Dove, Blood Meridian, The Three-Body Problem, and Steinbeck's East of Eden. With Audible, you can dive into these epic stories anytime, anywhere. Sign up for a free month, and your first audiobook is on the house. To start your free trial and support our show, click the link in the show notes or swing by the sponsors page on our website.
Want an awesome website for your podcast? Check out Podpage. We use it for the Mick and Pat show, and it's a game changer. Set it up in minutes, no coding needed. Support the show by using our link to get started. Your podcast deserves a home as great as ours. Podpage, the one-stop solution.
I think, if you're ready to get into like this intense side, but if this is like your first, if you've had like a couple Bud Lights in your life and maybe, some other wheat beers, like, and you're just going straight into the dark beer realm.
This could be a wake-up call.
This is gonna, and I love in their description too. Here's a black stout to brighten your day. I don't know that it will. It might. It will. And it's the way they say this is like you're supposed to drink it in the morning.
No way.
No, I mean just it's like good morning. You've woken up dead. You're in ruins, but don't be discouraged. Here's a black stout to brighten your day.
I guess if I was hungover, this is a little bit of like the hair of the dog that bit me. You know what I mean? You ever have that beer?
Just no, I've never heard of that one.
14 or 15% beer. I'm sure that's not even like the original form of that liquor, whatever it was, whatever form it took. But I just remember first time I was hungover, it was right after I graduated high school. And my buddy's dad poured us 2 shots of that while he was cooking steaks. And it was like kind of punishment, kind of like, this will make you feel better.
Yeah.
And it really did. It really did like take the edge off. But it was like a 14% beer, you know what I mean? And it's just like he pours it into the shot and it's just like just the most like licorice dark beer. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna, I don't want to beat around the bush, man. I think this is a good beer.
Yeah. I'm
going to be honest, like, I know it's not for me. I know my favorite profile is not really, like, the one that is going to be inclined to enjoy this. But I genuinely think people who like stouts will like this. When I think Imperial Stouts, this doesn't seem, like, over the top. The flavor profile is strong, but it's what is on the bottle.
Right.
Like, if you read the bottle and you're like, well, I don't want dark chocolate or coffee flavored beer. It's like, okay, well then don't buy it.
Yep.
But like if you look at this bottle and you're like, all right, I'm open to it. Yeah, that's what you're getting.
Because I'd say too, I've had a lot of other stouts that are muddled. It's just like a
muddy.
Yeah, it's just they throw all the flavors in there, and it's just nasty. It's just not there, and it just like you've said about them, it just tastes like throw up.
Yeah.
Like
it'll just taste like vomit.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, even this, to me, has a little bit of a vomit taste. But that's probably just because I'm so sensitive to it. That's why I don't like ales or stouts.
You found it now. But but yeah, this one, it's got a clear flavor profile in it, and especially as we're coming into winter here, it's getting a little cold outside. I think this is one worth picking up and enjoying.
I would drink this over any Christmas beer I've ever had. You know what? Like a million times over, I'm drinking this over Poopery Puss. Like whatever that was, dude. I hated that so much. Which is ironic because I just submitted our like interest in being a sponsor, like partnership with New Belgium with Voodoo Ranger and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, they're going to listen to the first episode of like where we gave Juice Force such high praise. And they'd be like, I don't know. They joked that they were already sponsored. That might be points against us.
And then we called it a money grab.
Yeah. But we said, get it while you can because it might not be around. And then they're going to be like, oh, they also reviewed our holiday ale. Yeah. And they're going to put that one on and they're going to be like, we're not partnering with these guys. These guys suck.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I'm saying, New Belgian? We're going to give the honest opinion. And if you give us free beer or / sponsor an episode, well, we will give a very more positive skewed opinion of your beer. Just kidding. No, but it'd be great just because one, I'm a big fan of like our local breweries here. We have so many good ones that are, still like not getting the popularity they deserve. So I'll just say with that too, like anyone who, listens and you got friends or family who are starting out their brewery or you own a brewery, whatever it is, we'd love to partner. Especially like if, I see on the bottle the independent craft beer Brewers Association sticker.
Mm-hmm.
If I ever see that logo on it, that 100% makes me want to buy this beer over most other beers, just because I want to support them.
Right.
All that said, Wake Up Dead by Imperial Stout. Wake Up Dead by Left Hand Brewery, Imperial Stout. I'm going to give it a thumb up, Pat.
That's what I'm at, too. I'm a one thumber.
It's a good beer. In fact, I'd recommend it as someone's first heavy stout. You're going to have something that's not an IPA that's over 7%.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be fine recommending this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think you nailed it too, Pat. This is a Christmas beer. Not a Christmas beer, winter beer.
Winter beer.
Enjoy the fall. We're past that last warm day in October.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're just going to get the surprisingly delightful 60s through November and December spread out.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, we're in the chill, baby. And I think this is a great beer for that. And, Pat, this is a perfect beer for our movie.
It just might be.
Our movie just so happens to be, as we mentioned, Talk to Me. Talk to Me is this movie that just came out here in 2023 and is getting a lot of buzz around it because it has been the first film debut and a successful film debut, according to a lot of reviewers, of Danny and Michael Philippou. I can't remember how to pronounce their name. But these two guys I grew up with, they were YouTubers making popular YouTube videos where they have their buddies over at their house and trash their house and shoot each other with airsoft guns. It was just super fun. They did a lot of good spins on it. And this is their film debut. And a lot of people were like, man, I hope these guys, hit it out of the park. I hope they don't try to go, take off a bite bigger than they could chew. And that just so happened to be, so far, at least from what people have said, critics and stuff like that, a pretty favorable opening debut. But anyways, Talk to Me is a film, Pat, that essentially the summary, right? I'm just going to do our normal plot summary. It's a group of friends who discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed left hand. They become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and opens the door to the spirit world, forcing them to choose who to trust, the dead or the living. And so with that, there's this, at first looks just like a fake mannequin hand with writing on it, like people, how they sign a cast. And it ended up being an embalmed hand of not a psychic, but what is the term for the person who speaks to the dead? Medium.
Medium.
Yeah,
medium.
And so that's why Left Hand Brewery's Wake Up Dead just was on the spot as a good beer for this episode.
Oh yeah.
And so with that, the lead of the film is Sophie Wilde. You probably haven't seen anything else that she's in, but she did a great job, I think, here as a lead. Miranda Otto, who is Eowyn from Lord of the Rings. She's one of the moms. She's a great job. And then Alexandra Jensen is the sister Jade, and Joe Bird plays Riley. And both of them, this was kind of one of their big debuts as well. Both of them, I think, did a great job. All around, I thought the cast for the most part did a pretty good job. That said, Pat, let's get into the movie. I don't really want to. It's so fresh that I don't think many people have spotted goofs yet.
Right.
But I'll say this: I think it's a different. It definitely was different than my expectations of what I saw from the trailer and the buzz around it. Because and just for, of course. Awareness for everybody. Spoiler alert. We're going to get into spoilers here for the movie. If you don't want spoilers, watch the movie first. We'll try not to spoil everything, but we usually just kind of have to get into it to review. But what was the body count? 1? 2? I think 2 people died in the whole movie, and it was
it's 2.
And it was
2. Yep.
that is not what I expected, bro.
Right.
Like by the halfway point of this movie, I was like, dude, all right, they're all gonna start getting it real hard right now. Like people are gonna start dropping left and right. And I was shocked at how scary it was for the amount of people who didn't meet it rough.
Right. Yeah, I think that same, because I was when I saw the trailer for this, it was just her sitting in the chair making like a wild-eyed face while she's possessed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking of like a Jordan Peele horror movie.
Like Us.
Yeah. I like it felt like
it was very Us reminiscent trailer wise.
Trailer.
Yeah.
And so that's what I thought I was like headed into, and then but it wasn't that. And I'd say too for as far as horror movies go, there are a couple very gory graphic scenes, but as far as actual like amount of people getting taken out, it was not what I thought it would be either.
And even then, I want to say the scenes where there was blood were really that gory.
Right.
I would say it was more the imagery of like what was happening was disturbing.
Right.
But it wasn't like even remotely close to the amount of gore I've seen in just like
right.
Like standard the action film. 13 hours, way more gory.
Right.
But it wasn't as disturbing, right?
When Riley was losing it because it was a kid harming himself.
Yeah.
That was like,
it's disturbing.
That was definitely the most gore disturbing scene there was. But yeah, there wasn't
it's not like Saw.
Yeah, no. Yeah, or even other like war movies you've seen.
Yeah. I think it is that idea though of like they did a really good job of not showing us stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I think they probably did. I don't know. I would bet they've done 100 takes of each person sitting in that chair with their facial reaction to the unseen undead sitting across from them.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a couple examples of like these undead, and they're pretty well done. I thought the makeup was great. Nothing was CGI. If it was CGI, I didn't notice it.
Maybe touch up, it was.
The makeup was great, dude. Like the drowned woman, like her one eye being in one direction, the other eye just foggy, milky. All that said, though, I think like they did a good job not overshowing like, ooh, here's a different dead guy, and here's this dead guy, and like this guy's been run over by a car. You know what I mean?
And because that first time they did it, they showed us.
And it was so brief.
And then the rest of the time they didn't show us.
Yeah.
And so, what they did show us initially too is how when the main character Sophia, is that the actor's name or the?
Oh, that's the actress's name, Sophie.
Mia.
Yeah, main character's Mia.
Yeah, so Mia, the first person she sees is just like an old dude. Like he's probably like
he looks like he hit by a
heart attack, or like
he looked a little scraped up.
Right, but he's just like
He didn't
meet like a gnarly demise. He just like died.
You could tell me that guy was homeless, and I'd believe it.
Right, and then it flips back like to the next thing, and it's like, oh, this is intense. And so they showed us those two examples of things that something somebody might see, and really the rest of it, I think, was all left up to us.
There was the old woman in the bedroom who I saw in the corner, and I didn't want to spoil it for my friends.
That's later.
Yeah.
What I mean during like
during the hands,
like the other kids doing the hand thing.
The hands, yeah.
For that instance, like the kids who were doing the hand, we didn't know what they saw, but we know the spectrum of what it could be, and based off of their reaction to it. It could be all these different things. So
no, I agree. Yeah, I think they did a really good job too about when Mia. Plot point here, not really spoiler. You find it out in the trailer, but Mia's mom died, and so sure enough, at one point, someone someone takes the hand, and when they take the hand and say "talk to me," Mia's mom shows up, or at least we think it's Mia's mom. It's never really clarified which one of these are ghosts and which of them are demons, and which one of them just might be confused or angry dead people. It's hard to tell. Because there's definitely some ones that seem like, some a little bit of like, I am Legion for we are many,
right?
Kind of vibes.
And which things are also like playing just out of your own fears, right? Like that it's none of those things, but you like expressing your your fears about what you've been or whatever. So,
well, and when they first let us see the ghost of Mia's mom, the camera's out of focus, and even as it pulls into focus, it never comes into full focus, I think, which I thought was a good move.
When she's outside of in the hospital?
I'm thinking, no, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking like when she's trying to talk to her mom in her bedroom the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And like, it's almost at first like you're like, is it going to be her mom? You know, it's a little bit of a panic hesitation.
Right.
But anyways, it is an A24 film through and through, though, I would say. Like, I think if you saw Hereditary or Midsummer, then, like, you kind of know what to be looking for in this one.
Is it A24?
A24 is the production studio.
Okay, right.
And A24 is very well known for macro shots in their films that have many things placed in the frame that are, you know, in the foreground, middle ground, and background. And I knew as soon as they started doing these, like, you know, Mia walks into the house with Riley after, like, just picking him up from the skate park or whatever. And this house is a big house full of windows, and it's such a wide angle shot to let you see, like, kitchen, living room, hallway. I was like, dude, they're going to jam this thing full of things in the background that we think are people, you know what I mean? And sure enough, they did it several times in the movie. The hospital had a couple times where, like, I saw stuff that I don't think other watchers saw of, like, spirits hidden in the background. The big one that kind of was, like, weird and kind of funny, kind of creepy, the old lady in the corner. Dude, I saw that so quickly. Like, you know, I saw it as soon as the camera was panning, and everyone no one else seemed to see it when we were watching together. Yeah, I watched it, like, with 6 other people.
Oh, dude, yeah, I saw that thing. I
Did you know immediately it was a person?
Yes.
Or did you play the game in your head where you're like, that might not be a person. That might be like a coat rack or clothes or...
No, I was like, there's something coming out of that corner shortly.
Dude, see, that's so interesting because everyone I watched it with me like, I swear it was just... I thought it was clothes, you know? And so, like, I think they did a really good job of jamming stuff in there because, like, in Hereditary, one of the best things they do is, like, just on the edges of your thirds, right? When you think about, like, how a camera grid is set up, it's set up, you know, essentially to have everything divided into threes, you know, 3 rows, 3 columns. You got, like, a 9 square grid. And the idea is, like, keep everything in thirds. Like, make sure the focused... the thing you want audiences to focus on is in one of these full thirds, whether the lower third, center third, upper third, right third, center third, left third, right? And it's not that they should be in one of the squares entirely, but they should take up a whole 3 squares. And then fill the other stuff with other things that, like, the audience can notice or details that help understand the scene.
Right.
And Hereditary was so good at putting, like, little kind of like a pagan scrawling into the wallpaper or scratched into a desk. And it was like words that seemed to not make any sense to, like, you as the viewer because you're like, what does that mean? And, like, you could read it and you're like, payment? What is payment? But it's like scratched into, like, you know, a child's wallpaper. Right. And you're like, oh, that could just be the kid trying to spell their name or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And, like, but it's easy to miss because there's so many other things in frame. It's not the center of, like, your attention. It's not in the main thirds. And it was just in one of the corners. And they did that with, like, so many things in that movie. Like, there's points where you see, like, if you're paying attention, you'll see people out in the woods that, like, otherwise you just will not see. Even on the cover art, like, of some of their movies, they hide details of the movie in the posters that are hidden in those areas of, like, the outer edges of the frames. And you can, like, really infer a lot. And so, like, I knew going into this one, I was like, there's got to be stuff like that. And sure enough, they did it several times. And I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty sweet. Anything like that for you, like, that you noticed that you felt like were, like, nice attention to details, really good, like, kind of helped you understand more about the scene rather than being told, you know, a little bit more of the show rather than tell?
Yeah, I think at first I didn't like the audio design in the movie.
As in?
All the... Just the audio, just like all the... sound effects and the music. And this, like the first 10 minutes as I was watching
Interesting.
it, I was like, I'm not sure if this is going to be like up to snuff or not. And because here's the deal.
You thought it was bad audio? I wonder if that has more to do with what you were listening to, because we listened to it on a sound bar and had it up to blast, and it felt like, full surround.
Right. Well, I'd say like this, like opening scene, music, party music's playing, and then like they're bringing that kid out.
Yeah, and he stabs his brother, stabs himself.
But prior to that, there's like 2 or 3 times that they're talking, and you can't.
Oh, you can't hear
clearly
anything?
hear what they said. Like, and so the audio, like yes, you couldn't hear the dialogue clearly, but then when he did stab himself in the face, oh yeah, it sounded very clear.
Yeah, I
but
get what
like
you're saying.
it's like some dude who's in a sound studio is like, oh yeah, I'm getting the sound.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that so perfect, like the treble's dialed in perfect, and like he really stabbed himself in the face, as if we held the mic right next to
the
it.
watermelon.
Like, yeah, kind of like this, like maybe classic horror movie. Where's your focus on your sound design, audio design stuff? So like I wasn't sure about it, but then as it went on, I thought they actually did. It was all pulled together pretty well, and so I think that especially the scenes where the kids were, some of like the montage-y type scenes and things like that, and then because also why I was critiquing sound right out the gate was because everybody knows that the number one thing in horror is audio.
Yeah.
And then and then the visual. And so I was like, over that first scene, I was like, oh, they're like almost overdoing it to the point of like, we're going to rely on audio too much for the scary stuff, but not actually do good storytelling or do good dialogue scenes. And so that's where I was starting from. And then as it progressed, like the audio was good, and then also the sound design was good, as well as the scenes around, specifically like her first, what you'd call it, possession.
Yeah.
Scene when like doors and stuff in the room move and all that. I'd say that was good, and so they brought that together well. And the one thing though about with they don't explain the universe too good to you.
The universe?
Like you always have to. I feel like you have to establish the rules you're playing by. Dude,
I thought I thought in the first 10 minutes they did the rules, didn't they?
They kind of did, but
can't hold it for more than 90 seconds.
Right.
Gotta say, talk to me. I let you in.
How did those doors close and open, or what's like? So are these physical beings? Like, are they physical beings running around the house that other people can't see?
I think they are.
Yeah. Like so. What's the? I feel like this is the thing for me throughout. I just feel like there's like.
Did you watch this on your phone?
No, I watched it. I watched it. No, I watched it on a big old TV. But the where sometimes you can border on mystery to establish horror versus like explain it, and so you can like almost crutch not explaining the universe as much because it's just mystery and horror.
Sure.
Right.
I thought it made. I didn't. Okay, I'll say this. I think I would have had that question maybe if we didn't get the most horrific scene.
Right.
And the most horrific scene is when, so for our listeners out there, the rules established with this left hand of this medium is that you grab the left hand with your left hand and you have to say, talk to me. And when you say that, what you end up seeing is a ghost, perhaps a vengeful spirit, perhaps a lost spirit. Part of me also wonders if it's a demon at some point. And they're holding your left hand. And then you have to tell them, I let you in, so they can go into your body. And when they go into your body, it's like a drug high. Everyone describes it as being close to the surface. Or what was the other one they said? Feeling so like elevated, something like that. Or bright and warm, and I think it's a lot of the feeling of like they're feeling like what it feels like to almost like be out of your body, like an out of body experience, right? Because they're feeling what it might feel like to be dead, while the dead is using their body and then talking to people, and then while they talk to people, they kind of tell people what they see around them, or like what the other spirits are doing. And in a flip of the script, our main protagonist Mia is trying to get these spirits, or one spirit, to leave Riley. He's in a catatonic paraplegic state, and she takes his hand and says, "Talk to me." And then this little girl shows up, and rather than her telling the little girl, "I let you in," the little girl says, "I let you in." And what Mia sees is through the eyes of the spirit, and she sees what looks like, I don't know, several dozen naked,
like the fourth ring, fifth ring of hell stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
like just these naked, demonic, twisted beings. I would say I would say you could say they're demons, or you could just say they're lost, depraved souls.
Yeah, it's a demon tickle fight.
And they're like
seeing.
all pushing around each other, trying to just get and be able to touch and pull at Riley and like Riley seems conscious but not able to do anything. Like he's not screaming while they're doing that, but he seems aware of what's going on in this spiritual realm while they're doing it. And anytime he does come to consciousness in the real world, they're trying to kill him.
Right.
Because if they get him to die, they get to kind of keep his soul amongst themselves. And it just really gave this vibe of like the purity of like a preteen spirit, you know, or childhood spirit. Maybe not preteen, but like young, youthful teenager, still, you know, optimistic about what the world holds. And then all these things that just want to take that purity away, just want to feed off of it. And in that scene, though, I felt like it, to me, revealed that, like, while we may only be seeing the individual in the single possession, there are going to be tons of the spirits or demons around that are actively trying to get through the bridge of the hand, you know, to the world. And, like, I think we see that, too, when Mia, like, looks at Riley and, like, they like you. They want you. And then she looks at, like, that Christian guy and is like, oh, they hate you. Like, they don't like you at all. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it just seems like when the spirits are in possession of a body, they kind of seem to be acting like there's other spirits around, which is why I thought it made sense. Like the door is opening and closing, or, you know, the spirit pretending to be her father and pretending to be her mother while her father was in the other room and trying to like break her door down and get to her. Anyway, all I said, I don't know if that's a satisfactory explanation.
Yeah,
to
I
you,
feel like it's getting closer.
That's why I felt like it was okay.
Right, because I feel like it would make sense to like explain most of this as like, especially when you get into like her mom, was that her mom or not?
Yeah.
To really get into that, if it was like if you'd say it wasn't her mom, then it's easier to start explaining all that stuff. But then it's also like, so did the dad kill her?
Dude, what's darker, bro? What's darker?
Yeah.
I think it's darker that it was her mom, and she's just become a wicked, twisted,
just a
spirit
twisted person. Yeah.
Like, because like we see, spoiler, we see Mia die at the end. We see her spirit roaming, and she looks confused, not vengeful, not angry, but just confused. And ultimately, someone in some other, you know, locale uses a medium to talk to her. And part of me just wonders if, like, over time, these spirits just get twisted, hungry. You know, they go from confused to lost to angry. You know, the 5 stages of grief, whatever.
Right.
And then finally acceptance, accepting all I'll ever be is lost, and the best thing I can do is use whatever opportunity I can to, you know, get another body. I don't know. That you're right. There's not a lot of explanation of like which ones are good, which ones are evil, why would they do one thing versus the other. Because like we see the little girl spirit, and she is not evil.
Right.
Like she seems to be an ally. You know? And that old lady spirit wasn't evil, just horny.
I don't think that was
There was a couple moments that didn't work for me in the film. There was a couple moments that I was just like,
They were just, I feel like in that scene, they were just going purely for like disconcerting. They were like, we are going
disturbing, unsettling.
We're going to unsettle you.
It wasn't even, it started out scary, became just gross out.
Yeah.
But like when the Christian guy, I can't remember his name, but when they describe him as ultra Christian.
Yeah.
When he gets possessed and this demon seems like it's making him have an orgasm while he's kissing the face of a dog.
Yeah.
Like that was just so excessive and it felt gross, but not gross in the way I expect a horror movie to make me feel.
Right.
Like it wasn't like with Haunt, where there was like some gross, like dude getting his face pulled off with the claw tooth of a hammer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I repressed that.
Sorry. That was gross, dude.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. Like, and this was not awesome. This was like, that's grossing me out. Please stop having this actor lick this dog.
Did you do this throughout the film at all? Because the kids are playing with. So from one perspective, these kids are playing with some serious fire, really devilish, evil stuff.
For sure.
Not okay, horrific. But then while they're doing it, the whole room is laughing, having fun. And did you grin at all or laugh during those scenes?
No, I was disgusted.
But like during the montage of them kind of like other people laughing.
I was really uncomfortable
the whole time.
I thought that was the point of the movie.
Right.
We haven't necessarily said, but I think the whole point of the movie was in today's day and age, you could have no control of your body, be in a situation where you're completely vulnerable. Someone is like abusing your body, even someone is hurting you, or doing something to you, and everyone in the room would claim to be your friend, but they're recording it rather than actually taking action
just to
like help you.
Oh yeah.
And then but then it hits that moment where it's too serious, and then people start trying to step in and help. But like the whole time it's just like, no, this was serious all along. Like, and if you really think about it, it's like, it's a very invasive premise of like, what would you do if like, you know, you kind of went with the flow, and then, you know, honestly, the thing I can think about, not like I was ever at like big sex parties, right? But like the biggest thing I think about is like, you know, kind of spin the bottle dare stuff, and then like one person
like a
kisses another person,
of that,
but then like that other person takes it too far, and everyone else is laughing about it and filming it on their phones, and the other person is like kind of in a position where they're not able to stop it, and only when it becomes like, oh wait, that person is getting hurt now and being violated, and it's not funny anymore to record it, then maybe someone will step in and do something. But we even see then, like, a lot of people don't do anything. They total inaction. You know what I mean? And I think that was more the commentary of like, in today's day and age, people are slower to take action and do something that is friendly and supportive, and quicker to chase clout and like be a part of the crowd.
Because I would say my feelings through it, and there was specifically some scenes that were like obviously dark and evil, but then there were a couple scenes during that where it's just like the kids are just laughing. It's that one scene where they're just like, they're all doing it all night.
She's like speaking French.
Yeah, they're all just like doing funny stuff, dancing. It's almost like a ridiculous game of charades going on. And then everybody in the room has these like happy faces and like calm, no one's scared, they're enjoying themselves type thing.
That was the best one yet.
Yeah, that was so cool. You know, oh, let's go. You know, like into like I felt myself just being a little bit pulled back and forth between the two. Just like
really, you're starting to get swept up in the moment a little.
Just from like the straight, because what I would say would be the contagiousness or persuasiveness of smiles and laughter. Right? Just like that was a genuine laugh. Like they probably for the camera were telling a joke, and just laughing on the couches, and it was genuine, good-hearted. Right. And then it's like bringing you as the viewer kind of like into what they're experiencing, but then very quickly you're very quickly pulling yourself back out. Like, nah, they're playing with some bad stuff.
It would be very hard for me to not want to try it.
Oh yeah, that's what
I'll
I'm saying.
be honest,
That's what I'm
like-
saying. Is during
like-
the scene, it's like the peer pressure.
I just think about the
type thing
scenario
going on.
and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
my own, like my Christian faith versus my own rationality about drugs and stuff like that, and like the effects of the individual holding that hand, I don't think are beyond the capability of drugs.
Right. It's like, would you grab if he was like, would you rather
Like
grab that hand or do heroin?
Yeah, it's like it's definitely dramatized. Like
Right.
you know, like grabbing the hand and immediately the like back breaking lurch backwards and kind of suffocation.
Right.
Like that is definitely like a dramatization. But bro, if you just palmed that hand with some LSD and people grabbed it and were like, what's going on? And like, you know, it's slowly absorbed in their skins, like that dilated pupil look, that like confusion, slurring, behaving very differently, giggles, like all of that I think is very like, especially like if you think about like the way bath salts made people behave.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would I'd be like, look, if everyone's saying it's not a drug, then I gotta try it, because there's no way I really believe I just watched, you know, the last 15 people get possessed by demons.
Right.
Like that'd be that like, and I'm someone who believes in demons, right? I believe in Ouija boards and stuff, and I believe don't mess around, right? But like I would be so skeptical of this being like not a faked clout chase thing that I'd want to try it, which is weird because I detested the idea of like letting a child try it. You know, it is very like it feels like something that takes away innocence that was there before and is gone now. Hence why it gets passed around from party to party, you know, stuff like that. Which I don't know. I don't like that part of me, but I do think I'd try it.
Right.
I'd want to at least just once to know.
Right. Yeah. Because that's what they all want to know. Like even the beginning of it, she doesn't think it's real. She's like,
yeah,
this
it's
is
all
BS.
fake on the because it's all TikTok videos.
Yeah, it's TikTok BS.
Yeah.
You know, and then you find out the hard way. It
Yeah.
is.
Would you do it, Pat? Would you give it a try? Like if you think if like let's just say we get our 10 closest friends and someone brings it and they're horsing around about it, and then we see like a couple other friends like buy into it and horse it, and like how would you believe it wasn't them joking around, dude? It'd be so hard for me to believe it.
Right. I had an interesting conversation with somebody the other day who we were speaking about like spiritual realms and these sorts of things, and especially around like psychedelics and that psychedelics are becoming in vogue for people to use as a way to heal themselves from different traumas and these things, right? And this person's position on it, if I was understanding correctly, was basically like, yes, it opened. How do you set this up right? So some people would say, you know, hey man, that's just rewiring your brain, or that's just messing you up, or you know, it's not something you want to mess with. And what this person was saying was, no, this does open you up to that realm. Like, because other people would be like, oh no, it's not putting you in a different realm, it's just making your mind see colors. This person is saying, no, this opens you to this space in this realm. We're not meant to go there though.
Yeah.
That was the other. Wait, it was like, oh wait, no. He's like, yeah, this opens up to this place,
Spiritual realm.
Yeah, you see stuff, but like, this is not a place we are meant to like venture to, because, in one sense of being like, okay, you could, have some experience that is maybe wildly healing, but at the same time, I started to view it as like taking the castle like gates down. That's what you're like in these sorts of things. Like, you are pulling down the castle walls, you're pulling down your defenses and opening yourself up to the whole spectrum. and which is what we see in this movie, where we see, one person just does it and it's funny and fun and haha, that was hilarious. You were speaking French or you were dancing like an old Russian Spetsnaz guy. That's hilarious. Over to like, they took your soul.
Yeah.
Like, and so one interesting thing about Riley when he starts to, I thought when he started to harm himself, I thought he had maybe done something in his past that was horrible no one knew about.
Really?
Yeah.
Part of me thought it was Riley. Like, look, the people who were making the rules seem like the most untrustworthy people. I'll say this. The fact that Haley and Joss didn't get absolutely wrecked by some demon pissed me off.
Oh,
I wanted them to die so bad.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't even know how that would have looked in the movie, but like I really wanted them to get it. When it comes though to Riley, I thought Riley was the one possibly trying to kill himself.
Right.
Because like maybe they were wrong about the rules, and Riley's just like, if I die, this ends. The long like you keep me alive, the longer they're gonna get to have me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think I think that was the case when it's revealed later on, that he's under this torment. But I thought at first like he was.
I'll say I think I was wrong. I think if they killed him, like if Mia had killed him, thrown him into traffic at the end of the movie,
right?
I think he would have been lost forever. I just thought that might have been the twist at one point in the movie.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it was the twist.
Right. Because I was thinking that he had been visited by a victim of his. Like, because remember, like when the kangaroo needs to get ran over by the car and he's like, put it out of its misery. And these things, I took this thing down a weird...
I was going to say, bro,
dude,
you're going deep.
Dude, we could
go on.
We could get an alternate...
Go on. Hey, man, I'm just saying, we have the time for you to give a 5-minute spiel.
I thought he was visited by her mom, and he was involved in
her
death in some weird / innocent way. Like, maybe not innocent, but like he was somehow involved in her death, and that's when he or she started beating his head against the wall. I don't know.
Okay.
That's where I was. I thought it was going to head into like there was more to his story.
Part of me thinks here's one thing I believe from the movie. There's not many grounds to go on. I do believe that the spirit of Mia's mom, Fiona, got trapped within Riley. And also other spirits or demons came like a flare in the dark of night and took Riley and took advantage of it, right? And that when Mia tries to contact her mom after Riley's possession, it's not her mom. It's things that know, like, she's not around anymore and they can use it. Because I genuinely believe the suicide letter that her dad was holding out on was real. Like, I don't think he made it up.
Right.
He never showed any signs of being harmful. Even like...
He was just like a dad.
Even after getting necked.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have any signs of like discontent towards her or anything. I'll also say I was so happy he was alive, dude.
Me too.
Like, with the fact that he walked... Like, what a shitty day. Like, your daughter threw herself into traffic. But like, I was so happy she didn't kill him because like he did not deserve it. He seemed such a caring dad. Really.
Yeah, like because the scary secret keeping violent guy would have lashed out at her when she did that, right?
Yeah,
or maybe even the normal person, right? Like he was like he was like so like caught off guard.
Yeah, and that I guess too, like, that's my theory. Like I said, nothing really concrete for it. I just think like, because it sounds like Mia's mom is in Riley when the other thing shows up and takes over Riley.
Right.
And then afterwards, Mia's mom is like saying lies. Mia's mom is saying like, I didn't do that. Don't believe him. It's not really him. It's them. And it's like, why would he make up a suicide letter for Mia's mom? That doesn't track.
Right. Like a year later or whatever.
Yeah. But debate at the end. Did Jade shove Mia into traffic, or did Mia get a last-minute self-control and throw herself into traffic? Because it's never shown.
I think it's just
What we see is Jade grabs the wheelchair and pulls Riley back.
I think it's just left to the...
A part of me thinks Jade tossed her in, dude. I think Jade shoulder checked Mia into traffic.
Yeah, I think that's one of those, like...
The friendship was already toast.
I think it's kind of like the case from Pulp Fiction.
Oh.
Like, we just don't get to know what it was. That's why they didn't show it, you know?
Think about this, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You and me, we're good buds, right?
Mm-hmm.
I call you and I say things aren't okay.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Your sister is in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Likely due to some circumstance I was involved in. Maybe you kind of partially blame me, right?
Mm-hmm.
You wrote to my house.
Yeah.
Mon beau putain de boudel. What have I been calling her?
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean. All I could think of was Billy Idol. But my wife, Billie Jean, is neck stabbed, right?
Right.
And it's clear like I probably had something involved with it. Do you think you're going to roll back to the hospital and just be chill about it? Or do you think you're going to chuck me out the window? I'd chuck you out the window, bro. Like, not even a debate.
That's what I think.
Like, okay,
I don't know.
all right. So Pat's my friend,
right.
but he stabbed his wife in the neck, maybe out of panic. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm not letting him be in the hospital
Right.
with my wife.
But I think it's just they didn't show if she had time to, like...
Bro, she stabbed him at night,
No,
they roll up and he's...
No, I mean in the moment of the... No, in the moment of the very specific, like, 4 seconds of Mia in traffic and and her Jade grabbing the wheelchair.
Yeah.
They just don't show...
Yeah, right. It is an undisclosed...
They don't show her running down the hill, you know?
The reason I believe Jade
Oh,
chucked her in is because Jade saw Mia had stabbed her own dad.
But then at the same time, it's like, that just takes away from our, like, main character.
Here's the thing, though. No, all right, go ahead. But, I want you to go on before I say...
I would say this. I think Jade did throw her in because of this. Because of the confusion she woke up in.
The confusion, yeah.
Like,
that
versus being like...
For sure.
Versus being like, oh, yeah, I remember jumping in front of that truck.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Other than that, they just don't tell us.
She definitely was confused when she looked at her bent fingers. That was... But
even if you'd made a conscious decision to jump in front of a truck...
Maybe you forget about
You're going to forget about some stuff.
The thing about some of these A24 movies is like the movie Hereditary. Ari Aster said that he wanted to make a movie from the perspective of Isaac, from the perspective of the sacrificial lamb. But they just don't know it yet. And there's like this weird feeling of foreboding when you're watching Hereditary, of like people watching, people doing odd things just on the perimeter of the family, never explained. And then by the end of it, everyone in the family is a victim. Everyone in the family is like, no one survives. No one gets out. And what you realize is like, holy smokes, yeah, that is a sacrificial lamb. Because the sacrificial lamb doesn't get out. You know, in the Bible, Isaac is spared by God. But like, technically speaking, like, it was only moments, right? You know what I mean? It's like, with that, A24 definitely takes like a very unique perspective for the horror films. And I think this one was the perspective of like the person who is the villain, the possessed villain. Because like, there's a good chance Mia, I mean, if you time it in the scene, several times she goes over 90 seconds.
Right.
And no one's there to blow out the candle. It's not even shown sometimes if people blow out the candle, right? All the time.
When she does it solo, you're like,
who's blowing it out, dude?
Who's pulling the hand off you? You're just going in deep.
It's so like, with that, like, I think the movie is from the perspective of we don't think Mia is the villain because she's the protagonist. She's our main, vehicle through the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
That said, if she's not in full control, and you think about it, if you were watching this from the, like, Jade's the main character, dude, Mia is the villain.
Right.
Mia is the threat.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's like what this movie really is like we just rode first person in the possessed, perspective rather than from the protagonist perspective.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you think about that?
I agree because throughout the whole movie, she's also kind of still into the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She gets the little brother into trouble.
Yep.
And then, and she's the aggressor.
I will say, though, that scene with just her and Riley belting it out in the car was so relatable, dude. Like, that gave me chills of excitement because I was just like, I've been there, man. That felt so real and authentic of just like you pick up one friend and in 5 minutes you are both singing at the top of your lungs or just like headbanging so hard you can't see the brake lights in front of you. And like it's just like one of those things of like I felt very immediate, like from that moment on I felt very connected to both Riley and Mia and cared a lot about them because I that one moment of them just having pure joy and bliss in the car without any care of the world was so relatable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Pat, I got a little bit of trivia here. Not much, just because there's not much for like a short horror film that's like a debut. Yeah. But the directors, Danny and Michael, turned down the chance to direct. They didn't name the film, but they said they turned down the opportunity to direct a DC EU film, which is like the DC universe, like Batman, Superman, Flash. They turned down the opportunity of directing one of those in favor of having Talk to Me be their debut film. I already mentioned this, but they got started on their YouTube channel, Rocka Rocka. If you got time, definitely go look up Rocka Rocka's Harry Potter versus Star Wars or Ronald McDonald versus Wendy. Because that was kind of their cup of tea of like taking kind of millennial 90s icons from like TV or movies and just making them fight each other to the death. It is so brutal, bro. They like, I can't tell you how many times it seems like they trashed their house for a video. And then lastly, though it's never explicitly stated, it's heavily implied that the ghost of Mia's mother is in fact the drowned ghost that Mia first sees and gets possessed by. That possession goes over 90 seconds, which she is told will make the ghost want to stay. And then several times during appearances of Mia's mother, the sound of water is prominent on the soundtrack, and in her final scenes, Mia's mother begins to appear waterlogged and bloated like the drowned woman, which I thought that in the last time we see her mother, I was like, dang, her mom looks fatter. And like it looked like the face was bloated.
Right. I guess my two thoughts would be then either one, she met a murderous demise, right? Like
her mom did,
right? Like if she was just like dumped in a river or whatever.
No. I don't think her mom was drowned.
Right.
I think the drowned woman was pretending to be Mia's mother. That's the insinuation.
Oh, I see. I would think that I think the mom got in and the other things got in because she grabbed the hand with Riley. If you go back and watch it before and while Riley starts banging his head, she's holding the hand for a while, and then it gets weird for a second, and then she gets off of it. That would be my like.
It looked like the mom grabbed Riley's hand?
No. Mia grabbed
the ghost's hand.
The hand.
Yeah, the medium's
and Riley's hand.
Yep.
And I think I'd say that's when stuff was. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, Pat, give me your final thoughts on Talk to Me.
Yeah,
final thoughts, film premise overall as a horror movie, as a movie.
Yeah, I'd love to ask these guys if they based some of their stuff off of the 1990s movie Flatliners. I bet. I mean, that was a cult classic of the 90s. Yeah, like with a bunch of friends basically what they're doing is, I think they're doctors, right? Or like resident students, and they've found a way to like, they die, they get on a table, stop their heart rate, die, and then they get resuscitated.
Yep.
And like they get kind of too deep with it. Some of them get a little addicted to it. Some of them like it gets too far for them. So I was wondering about Flatliners in this one. It had a Flatliners vibe, to me. And then there's also this movie from 1999, Idle Hands.
Oh, dude, that like stoner movie.
Yeah, with the hand. I was wondering.
That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I was waiting for the hand to start moving, like in Idle Hands.
Yeah. I swore in the trailers it did move. You know what I mean? When I saw the trailer, it looked like it gripped on and thumb ward a little bit.
Right. I was waiting for it to go that way too. So those are two movies I thought of while watching this one. Overall, I think, if you like horror movies, this one's a fine one to watch, and it doesn't. They didn't just use copious amounts of like fake blood in some like C-level movie. It's it's not a blockbuster film. It's not the next Exorcist. That's okay. And it's not and it's also not filled with over the top too much over the top stuff either. It'll give you a scare. I had to go out to my car during the middle of it. I didn't enjoy that trip. I felt like something was looking at me. Had to get back downstairs fast and turn on the lights as I went and off as I went. That method.
Do you run up the stairs on all hands and feet? Like hands and like feet, like dog run up
like
the stairs.
You just run up there. No, dude, you got it's always you're reaching for the light first before you get out there. Get out there. But so it gives you it'll give that chemical rush to your body, and as well as like it. I'd say for me, though, I could probably take it or leave it in this realm,
Right. Sure, yeah. So no thumbs up, no thumbs down? Just a flatliner?
I'm teetering between a 0 and a 1. It's like I need a 0.5.
I'll say this. You can't do a 0.5.
I know.
We only have 2 thumbs.
I know.
I'm going to give it a 1 thumb up. And the reason I do is because I was talking about it with Billie Jean. I looked around at the scene which the Riley's trying to pull his eye out.
Yep.
And the scene where the old lady crawls out of the corner.
Yep.
And both times, 5 out of the 6 people in the room were not looking at the TV because they were hiding, like face down behind a blanket, pillow up. Just
check my phone.
Not even that. Like not even trying to be cool. Like everyone would just talking out like, "Oh God, no, yeah, no," just like hiding their eyes. And so like I looked at that and I was like, I was the only person watching the TV, other than like checking my friends' faces to see what their reaction is. And it did that successfully, and it made me excited without being the standard violent gore fanfare. So I think if they can do this with this movie, I still think it deserves an R rating for the content and stuff in the language. But like, if they can do that and it's more based on story and tension rather than the visuals of violence or Disturbia, because I'm going to give it a thumb up for sure. Because then I'm excited about what they can do. You know what I mean? What they can do down the line.
Because I wasn't like, oh, the black guy died first. Oh, nope, they left the shotgun again.
Yeah.
They had a chance to get in the car and they didn't. Like that whole thing, like every horror movie is you're just like the whole time you're thinking about how
like
dumb everything is. Yeah, like that wasn't the case in this one. This one you're engaged the whole time. You're thinking about what's happening and all that. So,
and I don't say that to try to change your vote, but I think like debut film, they successfully did something so many other people can't do after decades of practice.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to give it a thumb up.
I think I agree because I will give it a 1 thumb.
Oh, so you're switching to the
because when now thinking about the I said I was in between. Yes,
I know you said you were in between, but I didn't know if
but thinking about there was never a point in the movie where I was like bashing my head against the wall thinking about why are they making this dumb choice, besides the fact of like as like an adult now being like, yeah, don't touch the hand, or whatever, but like there wasn't that standard horror movie stuff. It's different. It's a good take. So
yeah. All right. Well, hey,
there you go,
Ken. You heard it here for our Halloween Brews and Reviews episode. The beer Left Hand Brewery's Wake Up Dead gets 2 thumbs up, 1 from each of us. And our film for this year's Halloween special, Talk to Me, 2 thumbs up. So definitely give them both a check out. You can watch them on any kind of streaming service. I think if I remember, Talk to Me is on Amazon, Google, YouTube. Yeah, I think those are the main places. And Wake Up Dead is in most of your probably like big liquor stores. So grab them both and enjoy a good night on us.
Mm-hmm.
But Pat, any Halloween farewells?
You know, I don't trick or treat anymore. I do now though because I have kids. So, but for those of you going out tomorrow, fill up the pillowcase. You know, all the way to the top. Don't stop till it's full. That's what I would say.
Heck yeah. All right, kid. Till next time.
Thanks for tuning in. If you love this episode, drop us a review. If you have qualms or comments, leave us a voicemail on our website. While you're there, check out our latest news, merch, and deals from our sponsors. Till next time, Ken.